Welcome to another Sixers in Six. Thanks for watching the last episode, by the way. I had quite a bit more views and watch time, so I really appreciate that. If you could like and subscribe, that will really help the channel grow. I appreciate all the love and that I get from everyone across the UK and in Philly, New Jersey, PA area. So anyway, the Sixers. So Celtics loss was a bad one, real bad one. I tried to wait till today to go, let's give it a couple of days. Don't react straight away. Don't make any hot takes or anything like that. And maybe give a bit more reasonable analysis to the 7 games. Uh, Unfortunately, one of my points was going to be around the coaching, and then obviously Rivers got sacked today or whatever, mutually agreed, but it looks like he was fired. So that eliminates one of my points, really. And I will touch on that who I think I want. Budenholzer and Williams and Nurse are probably the three, but I'll touch on that in a bit. So yeah, the Sixers game 6 was a killer. That really was. Game 6 was the one. Once we lost that game, I thought I didn't have any confidence in game 7. I was really confident going into game 6. But I just knew once we lost game 6 that was it. What I didn't expect though was the lack of effort, the lack of maturity, and the lack of desire that Embiid and Harden in particular had. And I think that does come from Rivers. Don't get me wrong. So don't get me wrong. I'm not taking away the slack from them at all. They deserve it. I think it's a 60-40 split in my opinion. Slightly more on the players and less on the coach. But Rivers obviously was doing the pick and roll all year. It didn't work in this series as often as we liked. James Harden did his best impression of Aaron Nola of being good one game, not so great the other, and just you don't know what you're going to get of him. But when he's on his A game, he's phenomenal. That didn't happen consistently in this series, and Embiid wasn't himself either. Now, the biggest disappointment from this series was the fact that Embiid just wasn't himself in a couple of games, and I get he's injured, but he had one or two all right games as well. And he also, look, game 5, he was quite dominant. So there's no excuse for it. But yeah, he just really upset me. And I think, you see a lot of people asking for trade and blow it all up and stuff like that. And I love Joel. And I don't think that we should blow it all up. I think we can. And I'll touch on the coaching side of it in a sec. But this series was tough, and you saw the difference between the teams, and that was they've got wing players that can create. Tatum had a great game, but in game 7 in particular, Tatum and Brown at times they just took it in challenge, taking it over, and we haven't got really anyone to do that. I think Maxi will be a good player. Next year I think he'll definitely have that next step as well. But we just didn't use him, and Harris unfortunately I mean, there's no point going over. He's in his last year of his contract now, so I'm hoping we can find someone to move on from him on. But what what I didn't like was that when Harris was having an all right game or Maxi or whatever, we just didn't go back to him. So I do think a lot of it is down to coaching, but you still want your superstars, your two main players to take over, and they really didn't do that. So it is completely a mess, and I'm glad that they've moved on from Rivers, but just going from game 1 hype to going 2-1 down, then you go 3-2 up when it's and then Rivers not being able to close it out. It's just so frustrating. So that the series could have been won. It should have been won in game 6. But the moment we lost that, it was always going to be Boston. Always going to be Boston. I just don't. My heart was telling me we could do it, but my head was like, this is going to be a Boston win, and it was. So that's kind of how I feel about the series. Really, just a lack of consistency from everyone, from the coaching and the players. Now, coaching. Obviously, Doc Rivers has been let go from today. He has been fired, I believe. Everything says fired. So Budenholzer, Williams, Nurse. They're the three that we should be looking at. I don't think we should be looking at anyone else. I've seen JJ Redick's a favourite on one bookmaker, probably because someone put a bit of money on it, maybe. I've seen Sam Cassell. Now, I like Sam Cassell, but he's just another Brett Brown, in my opinion, or could be. He's developed Maxi very well, no doubt about it. But is he a proven coach? No. Do we want to get a premium coach? In my opinion, yes. Are we going to be a win now still team? I think so. I don't think we're going to go into rebuild. So for me, you need to pick one of those. Now, Budenholzer, I think, had a poor series with the Bucks, obviously, and he was up against possibly the best coach in Spolster. So do you just allow that series go? I don't know. But he also obviously lost his brother as well. Nurse has had a couple of good years with Raptors, and Williams has been coach of the year, had the Suns in a really good position. So I don't think any three of those would be a bad hire. Now, whether we go down that route, I'm not sure. D'Antoni I don't want any part of that for Harden. Obviously, the rumors were that Harden wouldn't sign if we didn't get rid of Rivers. So I don't want to please Harden. I want someone that's going to come in and kick ass, basically. I've seen Jay Wright names branded about. Love Jay Wright. I think he's a legend in basketball coaching, but he's only done it in the college level. Again, I want experience. So it's all about experience and then how we can build this roster out. And I want a coach that can come in and get the best out of these players. The way I word it and the way I'll leave it is, I was saying this to one of my friends earlier, to a couple of friends. If you swapped the Miami and Sixers, right? Swap it over, the coaches over. The rosters don't change, but just the coaching. Are the Miami Heat in Eastern Conference Finals? Probably not. Are the Sixers in Eastern Conference Finals? I would bet more. I would bet my, if I owned this house, I'd bet my mortgage on it that they would be in there, especially if you're 3-2 up. I can't see him throwing away 2 games. So that's the way I see it. You do need an X and O's coach. We're going to run it back because we haven't got a lot of assets. So what can we do? Let's get someone in that can be experienced and we can work our way around it. Now, I'm hoping we can find someone to salary dump salary dump Harris. And then maybe we can get a couple of different players in and add some depth to it as well. But we'll see how that comes and we'll approach that as we get closer to free agency and we know their head coaches. But thanks for watching. Bit longer than 6 minutes because obviously a couple of things to go through. But yeah, that's my 6s and 6 from here in the UK. Please keep liking, subscribing and watching.